Welcome to the PI Podcast, your destination for everything NFL, discussing the latest news and providing in-depth analysis of every NFL game. And now, here are your hosts, Ian and Tesh.
Hey guys, what is up? PI Podcast here. We're back with episode number 62. Coming closer and closer to 100 by the day.
Mm-hmm.
We got some stuff to talk about today. Week 1 is finally here. Thursday night football, Bills Rams, coming up shortly. Yup, what's up, Antonio? Uno? Ian is back.
You already know what we're doing today, too. We're going to talk some games, going to talk some team captains, and then we might even look over everybody's fantasy team and give our opinions on it.
Yes, sir, Elite.
It's the comeback season.
The white boy wonder.
Just as a heads up, next week I'll probably be taking a couple podcasts off as well. I'll be flying to Massachusetts, so I'm going to try to be here when I can, but obviously I don't know what's going on up there, so I'm going to do my best to be here, though.
Yeah, and so you guys will see something a little different this week, starting with Thursday and Sunday. That's gonna be Thursday and Sunday's podcast is gonna be probably a different time. We'll let you guys know, but it's gonna be different than what you usually see. I mean, I guess it's a little different, but yeah, no, you guys, that's gonna be our format for the season, and I hope you guys enjoy it. But get ready for Thursday. You have the week 1 games up, Ian?
Of course I don't. I'm pulling them up now.
Oh, okay. Well, I'll just start off with the easy one. Bills, Rams.
Yes, sir.
Maybe
Who you got in that one?
Are we doing? Do we want to do our predictions now, or do we want to predictions on Thursday?
That's tough.
Maybe keep people guessing a little bit.
Yeah, let's keep them guessing. We'll do it Thursday.
We'll do our week 1. We'll do our week predictions on Thursdays. So, keep you guessing. But who are you excited to see the most in Bills Rams?
I'm really excited to watch Von Miller in Buffalo. I think that defense has potential to be great. It was already good last year. I mean, it was like the number 1 scoring defense. They're going to get even more pressure on the quarterback now. And then obviously I'm excited to watch Josh Allen and Stephon Diggs. I think they're going to have an awesome connection. And then because of my fantasy team, I'm extra excited for Matthew Stafford and Cooper Kupp.
Anyone would be. Hopefully that dynamic duo can replicate the same year they had last year. That would be good for your fantasy team. Very good, especially. Antonio, you getting ready for the road Friday? Cardinals Chiefs. Oh, that sounds awesome, Antonio.
That'll be an awesome game to go to.
Kyler Murray. We'll talk about it in a second, but like Kyler Murray, Patrick Mahomes. What more could you want from a game?
Who are you excited to watch?
Josh Allen. I want to see what he can do after that amazing playoff run he had, and amazing throws he made, and amazing accuracy he had during those playoff games. I want to see if he can continue that, because he hasn't shown that yet for a full season, and I need to see it from him.
Well, Josh Allen also has the best odds to win MVP.
Whoa. So that's why I'm excited for Josh Allen. But another guy I kind of want to see, maybe he won't get as many touches as Singletary or Moss, but James Cook. I want to see if he gets some reps and how he can do against this Rams defense. It's going to be tough, but it'll prove whether or not he has a chance at like a starting role as the second running back or first. 5.5 hours drive? Okay, Antonio. That's not bad.
All right. Well, actually, you know it's kind of funny. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Trey Lance is number 14 on the MVP odds list,
God dang.
and Trevor Lawrence is number 16.
Okay. What's up, Tim? How's it going?
That would be. I mean, I don't think either one of them really has what it takes, like team wise, around them. Well, Trey Lance has the better team, but Trey Lance hasn't had the opportunity to get his mistakes out the way.
Yeah.
Trevor, in my opinion, has, but he doesn't have the team around him.
Hmm. And some familiar faces up there as well. Patrick Mahomes, Tom Brady. But who is your choice for MVP? If you had to pick.
I'm still. I think Derek Carr with a new offensive-minded head coach. They already made the playoffs last year with their head coach getting fired, their top draft pick getting arrested midseason. They did that with a special teams interim head coach. Like, I don't know. I really think Josh McDaniels can take Derek Carr to the next level.
Oh man. Oh
But
yeah.
realistically, it's probably Josh Allen, but Derek Carr is my sleeper.
I'm gonna go Matt Ryan as my sleeper pick for MVP because brand new offense, has the defense. He might just replicate himself for 2016, and I could see it happening. Trey Lance was a little salty. Apparently, rumors about Jimmy G getting signed. Well, I saw it from NFL rumors, but sometimes NFL rumors they just
NFL
put
rumors
stuff
is not
out.
always, yeah.
They put stuff
That
out
Twitter
because they want to
account.
get something going.
Yeah.
Maddie melted. Don't worry, you're about to see
Ooh.
Mariota cream that Saints defense on Sunday.
Ooh.
Sorry, I said Saints. Aints. You don't deserve Saints.
Wearing a Green Bay hat Monday if you lose a bet.
Oh man.
Jeez. That's a brutal bet to lose. To put the opposing your arch rivals jersey on or hat on. Jeez.
So as you say that, when I was in Orlando, we went to Steak and Shake, and this guy had a Saints shirt on, and he was like, and I had a Falcon jersey on. He was like, if you put on a Saints shirt here and come back, I'll pay for your meal. I was like, never.
You asked the wrong guy.
Yep, he did. Unless it's some, never mind. You know what? We don't. But Bills Rams. What's your score prediction? We won't give our team predict. We'll give a score prediction.
Score predictions for this game is actually really hard because I could see it being high scoring and I could see it being low scoring because both defenses are really good. But I'm gonna say it's a more high scoring game. I think it's gonna be 38 to 27, and I'm not telling you who I think gets what score until Thursday.
Yes, sir. As you said, it could go either way. It could be a defensive game, or it could be a high-scoring shootout. But I'm gonna go pretty tame here. I'm gonna go 21-17.
I like it. Yeah, like I said, either way. I mean, because we've seen a good season of Josh Allen and a really good season of Josh Allen last year. And we've seen 1 year of Matthew Stafford on this Rams team. They could get a little worse. I don't see that happening with either one of them, but it could happen. Obviously, the Bills got stronger. The Rams you could say they got stronger on defense with Bobby Wagner. But they didn't really do anything else crazy, other than the Bobby Wagner signing and Allen Robinson for Robert Woods. To me, I'm a big Allen Robinson fan since he played here in Jacksonville. But I think Robert Woods is more of a threat in the Rams offense than what Allen Robinson will be. I think Allen Robinson's really solid, but they had a specific scheme that worked with Robert Woods because they used him in a variety of different roles, and they're not going to be able to do that with Allen Robinson. He's just going to be a standard receiver.
Yeah, and The thing is, Allen Robinson, when he did get opportunities in Chicago, he didn't put up all the numbers, but then again, he didn't get the most of his opportunities because of Matt Nagy. And I
Yeah,
would have
exactly.
loved to see what he would have done if Matt Nagy didn't limit him.
Yeah, and that's another thing. Sean McVay is going to put all of them in a good spot to succeed. Allen Robinson could potentially resurrect his career here.
Yeah, the Chiefs' defense isn't that great, but Arizona's isn't good either. Yeah, the Chiefs' defense is very young, and that's one of the things we have to look at this season. They have Chris Jones, they don't have Honey Badger anymore, but they have a very young defense that they drafted some rookies who probably are going to start. And Arizona,
Yeah.
they lost Chandler Jones, they lost a couple more guys, and I don't know about their defense right now. And someone in the cornerback for the Arizona Cardinals just got injured in a cookout mishap, so he's going to be out a few games.
And their corners are already not very good. I don't like the secondary for the Arizona Cardinals right now. But I was going to say, I'm trying to figure out his name because I literally just got done tweeting about him the other day. The edge rusher, Karlaftis, that's his name.
George
He looked
Karlaftis.
very good in preseason.
Yeah,
He got some good stops. He had some sacks. He did everything you wanted to see from your rookie in preseason. So I think he's going to be pretty good with Chris Jones in too. Like their defensive line is going to be much improved this year.
yeah, L'Jarius Sneed. Oh no, yeah, you're right. And L'Jarius Sneed is a good corner. He could have an even better year
They
this
picked up a
year.
safety too.
Did
When they released the Honey Badger, they picked up a safety. I don't remember who it was though.
they still have Justin Reed? I'm pretty sure.
Oh, maybe that's what I'm thinking of. Maybe they didn't pick him up. Maybe that's who they had.
Yeah. I got some news about him too. Or well, I saw some news about him. But yeah. Any other colored and purple gold is poisonous? Yeah. If there is um if there is a Saints fan, I'm okay with Panthers or Bucks fans, but Saints fans are just a whole never level.
Would I take him over Devin Lloyd? That's tough. I would not. Now, granted, I could see why somebody would, but we have Josh Allen and Trayvon Walker right now. So I would have rather Devin Lloyd, but at the same time, we also drafted Chad Muma, who I think is a decent enough running our linebacker as well, and we have Foyesade Aluakon, who led the NFL in tackles last year. So maybe, but I think Foyesade Aluakon, Devin Lloyd, and Chad Muma are going to be an extremely good linebacker core, like extremely good.
And isn't Karlaftis more right now more of a pass rusher? As
Yes,
far as they
but
used him.
that's kind of where my thought process is. Like, we already have Josh Allen and Trayvon Walker, so it's like one of those things. Like, we don't really need an edge unless one of them got hurt. But so I don't know. I think I would keep Devin Lloyd. But yes, that D line would have been nice with all of them on there. And we still have Kayvon Chase on, which he was a first round bust, but that's too many high overall picks on the offense. Like, I think you need to work other. It hasn't worked drafting edges, so you need to, like Taven Bryan was a failed experiment. Ngakwe obviously didn't stay. It just, I don't know. That's a good question. I would have to think on it though. And yeah, Trayvon. That's what I like about Trayvon Walker. He's got the high ceiling, the really low floor. But I was having a discussion with another podcast a couple weeks ago, and he was asking how I felt about the Trayvon Walker pick. And the more I think about it, the more it makes sense because one, he's from this area, you know. I think from the back seat or what's the check down? We talked about that, where Aiden Hutchinson matched the Michigan feel for Detroit, and Trayvon Walker matched the Georgia, Florida, the South. So it makes sense Trayvon Walker went here. And I like Trayvon Walker, now that I've really looked at film and stuff, I like Trayvon Walker a little bit better now because even if he fails at the edge position, you can throw him inside. You can throw him on linebacker. There's so many different positions you can play.
I like it, Tim. Blew that. That's the Aints motto right there. And also the Jaguars could also I'd like to see them draft a safety or even better safety or better corner. I mean, they also need help there. So building that defense is gonna help a lot.
So as of right now, like if we play this entire season through, what we need next year is a wide receiver 1, a good tight end, unless Evan Ingram does his thing, but regardless, we're going to have to sign him to big money. We need a good free safety because I think Andre Sisco will eventually step up into a solid starter. And then I really think we need a solid left guard, right tackle, and another corner. I would like to see one more corner on this team.
Keep going.
Other than that, I think we have the building pieces everywhere else. Christian Kirk's going to be a good number 2 receiver. Jamal Agnew, I think, will always kind of be a cheaper receiver that's very good on punt returns, kickoffs, and stuff. So he's going to have a spot for a while. Obviously, Travis Etienne, running backs covered. Snoop Connor, we just drafted. We have James Robinson for another year. We signed right guard Brandon Scherf. We drafted a center. We signed our left tackle. So left guard, right tackle, tight end, wide receiver 1, safety, linebackers covered, edges are covered. D tackle's kind of covered with Fatukasi. And I think Smoot and Arden Key are going to be very solid on that defensive line as well. Arden Key, very underrated signing for us. And then corner, like I said, I don't want to have to pay Shaquille Griffin much longer. That's my issue with Shaq. I like Shaq on the team. He's not going to get you a ton of takeaways, but he's a solid corner. And hopefully Tyson Campbell can take over that number 1 role, and then we draft like a third corner. That would be ideal. I'm hoping they develop these pieces we already have. And then obviously I hope Trevor continues to develop. I don't see any reason why he won't. Hey, appreciate that, Elite. We'll probably still be here because we want to go over the Jaguars announced their team captains yesterday, so we'll talk about that real quick while Tesh is gone. I don't know if they did it for the Falcons. I'm assuming they have, but obviously Trevor Lawrence named captain. Brandon Scherf was named team captain. That's on the offensive side of the ball. Logan Cook, special teams captain, and then Foyesade Oluokun was named captain of the defense, along with Josh Allen, which obviously Josh Allen's been a team captain since he's been on the team, I think. Trevor Lawrence, captain last year, captain this year. He's well on his way to getting a gold star on his captain's patch. Tesh, have they announced the captains for the Falcons?
As far as I know, I don't think so, but I'll double check because I haven't seen anything on Twitter. So
the Jaguars, Doug Peterson's press conference said that he will not announce the starters until this weekend. But he did say he told everybody who's starting in the building. So we'll hear about that later. I guess he doesn't want the Commanders to be able to game plan and stuff, but we pretty much know who the starters are.
Yeah.
There's a little competition at right tackle. There's a very small competition at left guard, but I think it's Ben Barches. And I think Jawan Taylor is going to win out the right tackle job. I wish Walker Little would, but it is what it is. And then safety, still a little bit. Rayshon Jenkins obviously is going to lock down one. But hopefully Andre Sisco can beat out Andrew Wingard, even though they're opposite. One's a strong safety. Cisco's a strong safety. Wingard's a free safety. So Not 100% sure Cisco will get the other safety spot, but we'll see. And Devin Lloyd and Chad Moom are actually battling out for the starting job only because of the injuries that have taken place to Devin Lloyd.
Chase Young is re-injured, bust. I don't know if I'd call him a bust just because of an injury, because when he did play, he was one of the best rushers in the NFL. And it sucks that well, if you guys don't know, he re-aggravated his ACL, apparently in the camp that was held for linebacker, edge rushers and linebackers, stuff like that. So that's unfortunate, but I wouldn't call him a bust. I think he's not a bust. I think that's the perfect spot to take him, and they got what they wanted with him. Washington needed a pass rusher, and they got him. And when he's healthy and on the field, him and Montez Sweat, just one of the best duos. Like they're and Jonathan Allen on that D tackle spot. That defensive line is crazy when Chase Young is on the field.
Mitchell Trubisky was named a captain for the Steelers.
And do you see the little thing that Steelers did? They so first on their depth chart when they released it for the first time, they put Mitch Trubisky first, Mason Rudolph second, and Kenny Pickett third. And then later on, it was updated, and Trubisky was one, and then Kenny Pickett was two, and Mason Rudolph three. So
I'm actually kind of surprised that they're keeping Mason Rudolph. I mean, it's not abnormal to have three quarterbacks, but especially with how shaky that offensive line is. But I don't know. It's just, to me, it's kind of bizarre that Mason Rudolph still has a spot on that team with how good Kenny Pickett did in the preseason, and obviously Mitch did well enough to earn the starting job.
yeah, I guess it's one of those things. Some teams some coaches like to keep three quarterbacks on a roster just in case something happens. It is what it is, but maybe I don't know. I don't know if Mason Rudolph's gonna get any playing time unless Trubisky does bad and they don't want to put Kenny Pickett in too early or something like that. I don't know. Oh, and talking about the Steelers, that after the one of the first games of Week 1, 1:00 p.m. on Sunday, Steelers Bengals.
Yeah, it's gonna be a good game. I think the Bengals are gonna get the nod there. I know we got some Steelers fans in the chat, but the Bengals, man, are they gonna be good this year with that offensive line in check? I don't see. Now, granted, it could have been a fluke season, but they won a lot of games that were close. I mean, you got to think of some of the teams they beat last year. They beat the Chiefs in Arrowhead.
Yeah, and it wasn't like it was by two scores. Yeah, it was by two scores. Like they were lining up the scoreboard with Jamar Chase against the Chiefs. And Patrick Mahomes can light the scoreboard up too. So they beat him. They beat him once. They beat him twice last year.
Yeah.
And also, I'm interested to see that O line. See if they can actually kind of protect better than what the Bengals O line was like last year.
I think they will. They redid the whole thing. They got some really solid pieces.
Yeah, Rudolph ain't been the same since the helmet concussion. Miles Oh, and then talking about practice, Aaron Donald swinging two Bengals helmets. He's going for round 2.
Ooh, but speaking of George Karlaftis, we were talking about earlier, he's listed as a backup for Week 1.
Oh yeah. Oh, okay. Oh dang. All right.
Um,
On the depth chart, Ebiketie is also listed as a backup.
Kyle Hamilton is too for the Ravens.
Okay.
Drake London is the only listed starter that's a rookie for the Falcons. Devin Lloyd is listed as starting linebacker on the Jaguars' first regular season depth chart. I don't think that's accurate. So I'm on a Twitter called NFL Rookie Watch. I'm not 100% sure how accurate this is, but Because I listened to Doug Peterson's press conference yesterday, and he said he's not telling anybody who's starting until like Friday, Saturday.
Yeah.
I also agree, Antonio, that the Chiefs' defense will be better than advertised. I wholeheartedly believe that.
I think the Chiefs defense can be good. They have a lot of young players, and I saw Justin Reed is still safety. They didn't sign anybody, so Justin Reed is their safety back there.
Yeah.
So there is a little bit of worry, but you have Patrick Mahomes, so a lot of the worry kind of goes away if you're a Chief fan because you have Patrick Mahomes. But it's only gonna start worrisome if the defense can't cover well in the secondary, if they can't cover well in medium routes, out routes, corner routes, that secondary as well, deep plays. If they can't cover that, then it's gonna be hard to kind of fix that near the end of the season. And that's the only thing I'm worried about the Chiefs. I love their offense. I love Mahomes. They're gonna score a lot.
Yeah, Trent McDuffie is listed as the second corner, I think, on their depth chart. But the problem with the Chiefs, and you always talk about how bad a turnover is, right? Because let's just say your defense stays on the field for 10 minutes. The other team drives down the field for a very long. They hold the possession for a very long time. The defense is winded, and then Patrick Mahomes and the offense comes out, and they 2 minutes, 4-play drive down the field to score. That's not good for your defense. So not only is their defense hasn't been the greatest in the past, you're not giving them. You rely on huge plays, so you're not holding the ball long enough to give them a break. So I think that's another thing the Chiefs have to work on, and I think they'll do that this year because they don't have a crazy big play guy like Juju's not gonna hit you for 40 yards a catch. He's going to get you the tough first downs. You're going to be able to milk the clock a little bit more and give your defense a breather. So I think the Chiefs, if they tempo their offense a little bit better, I think they'll be back in contention very quickly. The Chiefs play a lot like you would in Madden, where you're trying to get the big Hail Mary throw, moss the corner, one play touchdown. But in real life, you don't have the stamina to do that because your defense isn't going to get a break.
The Lions withholding the player collar like it mattered. The Eagles laughing at them. 45-7 beatdown. I don't know if it's gonna be a beatdown.
I don't know if it's gonna be that big of a beatdown, but I do think the Eagles are winning that game by a decent margin.
Oof.
Lions surprise you, man. I mean, they competed with a very tough Ravens team last year and lost to a 67-yard field goal. I don't know, man. That's a tough one, but I think the Eagles are going to be very good. I've been saying that. The Eagles are going to be extremely good this year. And it really, the difference between the Eagles and the Dolphins to me, they're both pretty good rosters. But the Eagles, to me, have a better roster, and Jalen Hurts is better than Tua. I think if Tua fails, the team's going to be good enough to win you a few games. But like if Jalen Hurts just plays mediocre, that team has a chance to win 10, 11, 12 games.
Yeah, and I really like what Jalen Hurts can do with his feet and with his throwing. And he also has everything around him. It's just another one of those situations. The Tua has everything around him, but we don't know how he's going to play. Same thing with Jalen Hurts. I think he can play better than Tua. I think he's already better than Tua. But we're going to have to see if Tua can actually improve this year. They re-signed Tim Boyle. Oh my god!
Hey, don't talk about TB12 like that.
So I do think Steelers Bengals is gonna be good just because I want to see that offensive line for the Bengals, but also how they do against one of the best pass rushing units in Pittsburgh. I mean, you can rework your line, but when you're going against one of the best pass rush lines in the NFL, it's gonna be tough. And another thing I want to see is George Pickens a little bit too. The rookie.
He's the only rookie listed to start.
Yeah.
For Pittsburgh.
Yeah, and as he was so exciting in preseason, hopefully he's exciting here. I think Trubisky's gonna have a lot of weapons at his disposal, and I think he's gonna be able to find Pickens.
Yeah, I think the Steelers are going to be better than what people are putting them to be, because I think a lot of people are really sleeping on the Steelers. I think they have a legit shot at breaking 500, which in the NFC would be enough to make a playoff spot. I don't think it's enough to get a. I don't think a 9-8 team is going to make the playoffs this year in the AFC.
I think the Lions. I think Jared Goff can play well. I don't know. Maybe Dan Campbell has him playing better. But I think Jared Goff can play well enough to win games for that team. Um, he has Almonra, he has DeAndre Swift, he has Jamal Williams,
DJ Chark.
DJ Chark now.
Yeah, and Jameson Williams has a chance to really shine.
Yeah, and their pass rush, the Lions pass rush has a chance to improve, especially with Aiden Hutchinson, who can provide a force for them that they didn't have. And just that team in general, I really like the momentum they have going into the season. I think Dan Campbell is a hell of a coach, and I think he can get these guys to kind of bolster up and work harder towards these wins. And it's going to be put to the test week 1 against the Eagles, a team that they're expected to lose against. We're going to see if the Lions can keep that a game, or they're just going to be the Lions last year or years past.
Yep. Let's see. You want to talk about some more games, or do you want to do the fantasy teams breakdown?
We get to the fantasy team breakdown. Let me get it set.
Yeah, because we have all day or we have Thursday.
Yeah, we have Thursday to talk about it. Yeah.
Marijuana was great in Jacksonville. Oh, don't be like that, Antonio.
Oh my God, it's Detroit. Well, we could have best. Oh, well, never mind. I'm not gonna say that now. But
Somebody said earlier Aiden Hutchinson will be Rookie of the Year. I actually, Defensive Rookie of the Year. I don't know if I think that, but I don't know who I would put on top.
Defensive Rookie of the Year. Ooh. Actually, Aiden Hutchinson is a good pick, but I could see Sauce Gardner winning it.
I could see a corner.
All right, so we have the thing pulled up. Do you want to do team by team, or how you gonna do it?
Let's just go across the first round, and then we'll do team by team.
All right,
Because
so
there's one particular one, like, I don't know what happened, but...
so with the first overall pick...
Talk about it.
Oh, okay. Oh my God. Oh man. With the first overall pick, I selected Derrick Henry. I had to. I'm really never had Derrick Henry in my fantasy, or wasn't able to, because I've always got to pick 7 or 8, so he'd be gone. But I was thinking him, Austin Eckler, or Jonathan Taylor. Mainly between Henry and Taylor, so it's either or there. So I picked Henry. Pick number 2, Antonio. You know who you picked? Justin Jefferson.
Jay Jettis. I like the pick, actually.
Hey, he's a top receiver for fantasy, so I mean, can't go wrong there.
I think Justin Jefferson definitely deserved to be in the top 5. My top 5, like, if no particular order: Derrick Henry, Jonathan Taylor, Austin Eckler, Justin Jefferson, and Cooper Kupp. Those were my 5 that I think really should go in the top 5. So any variety of those, like, I don't think is a wrong decision. What's up, Elite? We're going over the first round, and then we're going to go over people's teams just to look at them a little bit. So Derrick Henry, Justin Jefferson, Jonathan Taylor.
Yeah,
very good top 3 picks.
Yep. Jonathan Taylor obviously was going to go top 3 this year after
I
an
was
amazing
a little
year.
surprised Jonathan Taylor wasn't second, but obviously, Antonio, you watch a lot of Vikings games. I personally don't. I try to stay away from my own team, but you watch a lot. You know what Justin Jefferson's going to do. You know his connection with Kirk Cousins. It's a respectable pick. Jonathan Taylor at 3, again, respectable pick. There's no argument here. Austin Eckler, like I said, Eckler deserved to be in the top 5.
Yeah, Austin Eckler is a scoring machine. He gets touchdowns left and right. He scores you fantasy points year in and year out. He's destined to be a top 5 pick the last few years, and probably every year that he's healthy, he's going to be a top 5 pick or good pick for top 5. And that's why I like Eckler a lot. I think he just scores so many points for your fantasy team, and it'd be a shame if you didn't have him on your team.
Yeah, this is where I kind of threw a little curveball because I don't think I've ever seen a tight end go top 5.
And he went number 5.
But one thing, I'm not ragging on anybody's picks today, okay? I did that when we drafted, okay? One thing I will say about Mark Andrews, he will get about as many yards as a typical number 1 wide receiver on a normal team. And another thing I'll say, when you can get 10 to 15 points a game at the tight end position, yes, it is very important. I just think it was a little off to do that over Cooper Kupp, Jamar Chase, Stephon Diggs.
It's hard for me to take. In any year, it's hard for me to take a tight end, top 5. It's just hard. Mark Andrews is one of the best tight ends in the league. He's gonna get you points in fantasy, but when you see the other guys that were taken, like Cooper Kupp was right there for the taking. I don't know how you don't go Cooper Kupp at number 5, or even Christian McCaffrey or Joe Mixon or Najee. I don't know.
Mark Andrews, to me, was a very safe pick, not that early, but it was a very safe pick because he's been very healthy. Not like if you go in order of some of these that were picked after him, Najee Harris, terrible offensive line. Cooper Kupp, maybe that was a one-hit wonder. Christian McCaffrey, injury history. Jamar Chase, maybe a one-hit wonder. Like you start going through. Dalvin Cook to me was a safer option, though. Stephon Diggs was a safer option, and Joe Mixon, all safer than Mark Andrews at early.
Yeah.
Another thing I'll say, though, last year, I drafted a tight end in the second round, but I did Travis Kelce. But I did it in the second round, not the first. And it worked out very well for me because, like I said, Travis Kelce was solid. He gave me 10 to 15 points at the tight end position, which normally gets 4 or 5 points. So I can see why somebody might do that.
Now, going after Mark Andrews, Najee was picked. Are you taking Najee over? I see why you took him over McCaffrey because McCaffrey's been injury prone. But do you take him over Dalvin Cook and Joe Mixon when they've been kind of proven to kind of score you fantasy points every year if they're not they're not hurt sometimes?
Nick, we'll rate it as soon as we get through the first round, okay? Which we're at Najee right now, so we're halfway through. Yeah, I mean, it depends. Some people want the high risk, high reward. So
yeah, I mean, not a bad pick though. Najee is gonna. I think he's gonna be a beast, but
I think Najee's gonna be a beast.
That offensive line is worrisome, but I still think Najee's the type of back that no matter what, he's gonna be able to break some tackles. Kind of like that Derrick Henry type. That's what I love about him. And then Ian picked.
Boy, the fact that Cooper Kupp fell to me, I was so surprised.
Yeah. All right, you're good. Ian picked Cooper Kupp at number 7. Yeah, I got you, Elite. Yeah, that's one of the things. The Steelers line is kind of maybe shaky this year, so that's why Najee might be A little risky. I wouldn't say risky as hell, but a little bit of risky. But Najee's such a good back. And Ian, I don't know how Cooper Cup fell all the way
I have
to
no idea.
7 because
Well,
it
I
should
do
have
know
been
how because Mark
taken.
Andrews went before.
Yeah, it should have been taken either Mark Andrews or Najee Harris. I don't know. Hey, I mean, you got Cooper Cup again though, so I bet you're happy.
Yeah. Well, I also knew I was going to get Matt Ryan, or not Matt Ryan, Matt
Matt Ryan.
Stafford. I knew I wanted Matthew Stafford for the
Okay,
stack.
gotcha.
So, Christian McCaffrey next, though. I think that's a solid place to get Christian McCaffrey. It's a risk because of his injury history, but that's far enough back. I respect it.
Yeah, Chris McCaffrey was always going to be risky because you can see his injury prone issues the last few years. But when he's healthy, Christian McCaffrey is one of the best, if not the best, running back in the league. Because he's going to do stuff sometimes like Derrick Henry can't. Derrick Henry's going to get some reception yards, but not as much as Christian McCaffrey. Christian McCaffrey can run you the ball, and he can also receive the ball, so he's going to get a lot of receiving yards and a lot of rushing yards, and also receiving touchdowns and rushing touchdowns. That's one of the big draws about Christian McCaffrey every year in fantasy. Now, is he going to be healthy or not? That's the only risk that you take with him.
Yeah, because if he's healthy, he's got a chance to go 1,000 and 1,000 receiving and 1,000 rushing.
Yeah.
And he's got a slight upgrade at quarterback than he would have had at the beginning of last year, and even the year before that. I mean, there's a reason they went after Sam Darnold because they needed an upgrade at quarterback. So I think Baker Mayfield's an upgrade.
Yeah, completely agree.
Jamar Chase. This is where the Bengals situation is a little questionable to me because I think Joe Burrow's improvisation helped the team far more than what it looks like. Like, I think a bad O-line kind of helped him a little bit because he was able to roll out of the pocket, similar to Russell Wilson. Russell Wilson made his name rolling out of the pocket, avoiding defenders, and slinging one deep. And that's what Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase have. But with a better offensive line, do they get those explosive plays like that? I don't know.
I don't know, but I like to pick a little bit. I like to pick regardless. You get Jamar Chase. Hopefully, he has the same season last year. That's what you're hoping for as a fantasy owner. And in time will tell. And better O line, maybe he actually finds him on a seam route if he's wide open, like at the end of the Super Bowl. Yeah.
Antonio, I agree. There's no reason to draft a running back first round. I don't care who they are. And as a Jaguars fan, we went undrafted and got James Robinson. It just shows you where the talent level for running back is. As long as they have decent vision and they're elusive or powerful, depending on the type of running back they are, as long as they have the vision to see where they need to go, why draft one? Are very high, fourth or fifth round, third round tops. I completely disagreed with drafting Travis Etienne. I'm glad we have him, but I disagree with it.
Yeah, the thing about that year too, when they drafted Etienne, that year was all about that scene with the first round was college connections.
Yeah,
Because
that's
everyone
true.
got paired up with their college. I don't know if that influenced the Jaguars and in any shape or form. I doubt it did.
Deja.
But yeah, no, that draft was pretty cool, pretty unique, just because of that. Next, Falcons fan, which is took Dalvin Cook. Solid pick. Dalvin Cook is going to get you points every year. And he's he's one of the best backs in the league. I mean, nothing less to say about it. Nothing more to say about that.
Yeah.
And then Stephon
Man.
Diggs.
If Josh Allen has that MVP type season, Stephon Diggs could be a very, very good late first round pick.
Yeah, Diggs is gonna be Josh Allen's one of his main guys, and I think he's gonna perform. It's his number one receiver. It's always a good pick when you grab a wide receiver one with a very good quarterback.
Yep. I wish he could have got the stack of Stephon Diggs and Josh Allen, but he got Patrick Mahomes later on, so he's got a very good quarterback too.
Mm-hmm. And then the last pick of the first round was Joe Mixon. That one was auto drafted,
Solid.
but it's a solid pick. I mean,
It was the
I
best
think
player
anyone would have
available.
taken him there anyways. Yeah, because Joe Mixon last few years he's been killing it in the run game, getting plenty of fantasy points, and just been an all around great back for fantasy.
All right, and then Nick had came in, and said rate my team. So we'll look at that
All right.
comment. I can already tell I like most of the picks. Jalen Hurts at quarterback. Nick, can you let us know what how many people were in your league and what pick you had? Because I see you have Jalen Hurts at quarterback. Said Jamar Chase, DeAndre Swift, AJ Brown, Darren Waller, Devin Singletary, DK Metcalf. The bench is Brandon Ayuk, Elijah Moore, Kenneth Walker, Jared Cook, Madison, Traylon Burks, Matt Ryan, Gerald Everett, Miami defense, and Ryan Suckup the kicker. That's solid. I would say my only small complaint is the depth at running back. But your starters are extremely solid everywhere, literally everywhere.
Yeah, I really like AJ Brown and DK Metcalf. Like, just AJ Brown getting traded. He's had Jalen Hurts now. DK Metcalf. The only thing you have to worry about is if Geno Smith's going to get him the ball. But yeah, regardless, DK Metcalf's a solid receiver year in and year out, getting better every year. Um, the the only, I guess, kind of starter. Well, Singletary is good. I like Singletary a lot. Um,
I think
the
the
thing is,
starters are solid at running back.
yeah, the only thing that worries me about Singletary is if one of those other two guys are gonna fight him for reps. That's the only
Oh,
thing.
that too. Yeah, I
That
didn't
is
think
the
about
only thing
that.
because James, yeah,
They
Zach
drafted.
Moss, yeah,
Um,
James Cook,
yeah, they drafted James Cook, and they still have Zach Moss, right?
yep.
Um,
And Zach Moss and Singletary were fighting for reps regardless last year. But I think
um,
Singletary is the better back.
Jalen Hurts, I think, is going to be a top 5 fantasy quarterback. Jamar Chase, top 5 fantasy wide receiver. DeAndre Swift, he's definitely going to be a top 10 fantasy running back. I drafted him last year. I ended up trading him. And then he got injured. I got extremely lucky when I traded DeAndre Swift. But I think he's going to have good value. AJ Brown, I think, is going to be extremely solid, especially if Jalen Hurts does his thing like we think he's going to do. Darren Waller is going to be a top at least 7 tight end in fantasy. I am a little worried Devontae Adams is going to take some receptions away from him, but not to where it's going to like really like matter. Devin Singletary, and actually Darren Waller might be a little bit more open if they double Devontae Adams and Hunter Renfrow. So he's got a lot of speed too, so you can't really just put a linebacker on him. So I like Darren Waller, and then DK Metcalf as well. I mean, if the
Nick,
ball's anywhere near him, he's going to snag it.
is that Jared Cook or James Cook? Because I wouldn't see I would like the
Oh,
James I just like the James Cook pick if because you drafted Singletary and just in case you drafted James Cook, then you're set. Or well, kind of
yeah.
set if you want to draft those running backs.
Yeah, was it Jared Cook or James Cook? Okay, then yeah, I was mistaken. So you're set at running back as long as you know who's starting, you know which one to put in, and then you might be able to bait the other one. If Singletary looks like he's going to be the starter, try to trade James Cook later on, or vice versa. If James Cook is the starter, try to see if you can bait Singletary to somebody that might not watch the Bills. I give it a B. I give it a B plus.
Yeah,
I'll give it a B plus.
that's what I was gonna say. B plus. I do kind of a sneaky pick, kind of sneaky. I don't know if anyone would have drafted him. Kenneth Walker the third. The Seahawks running back. Because Chris Carson retired, so you have Rashad Penny and Kenneth Walker might be able to fight for that spot. He might
Yeah,
not start
that's
week
true.
1, but having him as your bench, you could potentially have the Seahawks number 1 back if he performs.
My own, like I said, if the depth at running back was a little bit better, like let's just say you had managed to get like Nick Chubb, Joe Mixon, maybe Cordell Patterson. Like I'm trying to think of like maybe not the best wide, because I mean you can't get multiple top 10 picks. Obviously you got Jamar with your first pick, so like the running backs fell off after that, right? So like I'm not expecting you to get a top 10 running back in your starting lineup when you got Jamar Chase, but I don't know, maybe Leonard Fournette. Like I just needed one more really good starter, and then it would have bumped up to an A. But the defense, I think, is extremely solid. I think they're going to have a very good year defensively, as long as Tua keeps them off the field. Um, Obviously, Ryan Suckup, Tom Brady's going to throw for 40 to 50 touchdowns. He's going to get a lot of points off extra points, and they're going to get in field goal range a lot. So I like that. When Jalen Hurts isn't playing, Matt Ryan's going to play, and Matt Ryan's going to be extremely solid this year, I think, in fantasy. And Treylon Burks. I think he's very good to have on your bench. wait to see what happens week 1. Throw him in if he's insane.
Yeah, no problem, Nick. Yeah, no, you have a solid team. I like it for where you are in your
He can
12-man
definitely
league.
make the playoffs with that team, 100%.
Yeah. I think I like.
All right, so Elite, you're here. Is there anybody that was in the fantasy draft that is here?
I know
Because
Antonio and Vital is here.
So rank everyone's team in our league by grades. Okay, we can do that. I want to go through whoever is here. So it's me, you, Ali, and Antonio for sure are here that was in this draft. So I want to look at those teams first.
All right.
We'll start off with you because you had the first pick.
Okay.
All right, so you got Derrick Henry. I mean,
Yeah,
what do you say there?
Derrick Henry. Yeah, it's Derrick Henry. Yeah.
Keenan Allen.
I'm surprised Keenan fell this for a little bit. He's been scoring some fancy points. He does have Mike Williams on the other end, though.
Yeah. But I mean, he's been 1,000-yard reception or 1,000-yard receiver, so he's going to be solid.
Yeah.
Antonio, I don't think you're. I'll tell you what I think you are when I look at the team a little better. Kyle Pitts, top 5 fantasy tight end, has a chance to be the number 1 fantasy tight end this year, actually. DK Metcalf, he is going to be the number 1 option there. I think Tyler Lockett, he's going to digress a little bit soon enough, right? I mean, Tyler Lockett's getting a little older. DK Metcalf's about to hit his prime. So if he isn't already in his prime, he's about to hit it. So DK solid. Justin Herbert is going to be a top 5 fantasy quarterback. Probably going to be a top 3 quarterback in the NFL this year. Damian Harris, I really like Damian Harris because he carried me in fantasy last year. Obviously, we all watched Bill Belichick run the ball 100 times against the Bills. He only threw the ball 4 times with Mac Jones. So they know to run the football whenever. And Pratesh, I'm just going to grade yours and then you can grade mine.
Yeah, okay. That's fine.
Amari Cooper, My only issue, I had Amari Cooper last year, and he was solid for some games, but then other games he just didn't show up.
Yeah, I had him in
And
my
I'm a little
dynasty. He wasn't showing up as much as I thought he was going to.
yeah. And my other worry is the Deshaun Watson thing.
Yeah, but
We
I'll
don't have a very good quarterback.
take him at 7 though. I mean, or well, I'll take him
No,
late
that's a very solid
round.
place. If you would have got him in the 4th, I would have been a little bit worried. But 7th is perfectly fine. Alan Lazard, I love this one, man, because I don't think anybody on that team is going to be able to replicate Devontae Adams. But we all know Aaron Rodgers is going to throw for 4,000 yards, whoever he's throwing the ball to. I think Alan Lazard is going to get a lot of attention from Aaron Rodgers. So he could potentially earn his way into the starting lineup. Speaking of him, James Cook. He's going to be a quality backup just in case somebody gets hurt. Might have a potential to start if he beats out Devin Singletary for the starting job, which I think eventually he will. Chase Claypool, another guy, I think he's going to be the leading receiver on that team. Maybe Deontay Johnson, but I know Deontay Johnson's battling some injuries. So I really like Chase Claypool. Him and Mitch already kind of had a connection in preseason, so like to see that a little bit more. Raheem Mostert, very solid. I'm a little worried about his injury history, but the 11th round is a perfect spot to get somebody like that.
Yeah, that's why I put him on bench because him in the running back room, who's gonna start? He has Myles Gaskin, Raheem Mostert, and Chase Edmonds. So
yeah, Tyler Higbee, very solid tight end. I had him last year in fantasy. He was over average, and you're not even going to need to play him because you have Kyle Pitts. Brandon McManus. Who's he kicking for right now? The
Broncos. But I just dropped him and got Young Hoku, so I have Young Hoku now.
Oh, so you have Young Hoku right now.
Yeah.
Okay, that's another good one because I really like kickers who are obviously very accurate, like Young Hoku is. But I also like kickers where you have an offense that you think is good enough to get you into field goal range. Maybe not very good in the red zone, but that's perfect for your kicker. You know, I think Young Hoku is going to have some. Claypool played against the Jags. That was the only game I watched of the Steelers. So that's the game he played with. That's the game I watched Claypool play. Or maybe it was game 3. Which one did I watch? I know I watched Steelers Jags.
Oh yeah, I don't know if Claypool played.
But I only think he played like a drive or two, and he made a couple good catches though. And he's very tall.
Yeah.
So I think they're gonna have a good connection.
That game last year, Steelers Vikings, when the Steelers were down a lot, Big Ben they were down so much, and they just kept throwing it up, and Claypool and Deontay Johnson kept getting these amazing contested catches. It was one of the craziest catching games I've seen. It's crazy.
Then you have Nico Collins. Elite. I do think that happens, but towards the end of the season. I don't think Pickens is going to take Claypool's spot right away because I think one thing that I can critique from Pickens' game is his route running ability, which I think in time will definitely get better. But if you just send him, he's catching the ball, which is what you want out of a outside receiver. But and Deontay Johnson's obviously going to be the slot guy. But I think Claypool and Pickens on the outsides are going to be really awesome. But right now, I think Pickens is really only good for running deep routes, which isn't bad. He'll get you big plays. Then you got Dallas's defense. That could be very good because obviously you have Micah Parsons and Trayvon Diggs. Trayvon Diggs might have gave up the most yards, but he also got the most interceptions, which is more important in fantasy. And then Julio Jones, he could resurrect his career right there in Tampa Bay. Awesome pick.
All right.
Overall, I'm probably
It's hard. Yeah.
A minus.
Yeah.
I wish The problem is I
The
think
only
I have to give
thing
you an A. I'm not
I
going to give you an A minus. I'll give you an
I
A.
I wish I drafted. I wish I could have. Well, if I drafted a different running back, if I could have, you know what I mean?
Well, that's what I was looking at, but you have Derrick Henry.
Yeah,
Okay, so we have 2 running back slots. So who would your running back 2 be? Damian Harris?
yeah.
Maybe that'll give you an A minus. I'll keep you at an A minus because your number 2 running back's not dominant.
Hmm.
And then they also have Ramondre, so there's a chance Damian Harris isn't even the starter for forever.
Yeah.
He's another guy that's kind of battling it out. I think it's his job. Like I think he definitely is a starter and will be, but
Yeah, the only issue I have is if they use Ramondre for more goal line situations.
right, yeah, Damian Harris drives you down the field, and then Ramondre comes in for the goal line stuff. So I'll give it an A minus because I really like your running back. Um, I really like your receiving core is super solid. Justin Herbert's an awesome quarterback. You have a very good kicker who has potential to hit some bombs. Because when you're playing in Denver, as long as you're past the 50, you're in field goal range.
Yeah.
All right, we'll let Pratesh talk mine, and then we'll go to Elite, and then we're going to do Antonio after that.
All right, so Cooper Cup. I don't think there's much to say. I love that pick. Cooper Cup. He may not have the same season last year, but he'll have a great season regardless. Could be a top. Probably will be a top 5 fantasy receiver again. So, yeah, Cooper Cup, solid pick. Nick Chubb. I love it. Kareem Hunt could be traded, so they have depth at running back, but if Kareem Hunt's gone, they'll probably be using Chubb a little more, and I like that because Nick Chubb is gonna get some points, and he's gonna get like 25 carries because Tyrod Jacoby Brissett is their quarterback, so they'll want to run the ball more. So yeah, you're gonna get a lot of points with Chubb. It's interesting you went 3 straight running backs. DeAndre Swift next, top 10 running back last year. Could be again. He's gonna get a lot of points on that Lions offense. Love that pick. J.K. Dobbins.
So let me just talk about DeAndre Swift real
Okay.
quick. They have a lot of very good wide receivers to me in Jamison Williams, Amon-Ra, and DJ Chark that I think will open up the run game. So that was my theory taking DeAndre Swift there instead of Cam Akers.
Yeah. Yeah, Elite. His running back core is good. Next, he picked J.K. Dobbins. Basically, the Ravens' number 1 back. Unfortunately, he tore his ACL last year. That's the only concern, I guess, if there was. But if he plays like they drafted him for, then potentially have a really good back there.
My theory with that is there's nobody to throw the ball to. So I really think they're going to have to run the ball, other than Mark Andrews, obviously. But I think they're going to have to run the ball.
Yeah, and the way that Ravens offense is run, 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 pass, run, 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 pass. So, hey, you have to take Ravens running backs here. They're running all over you. That's their game plan. Jalen Waddle. Yep, I like Waddle a lot. I like him and Tyreek Hill next to each other. I think he's going to get receptions. I think both of them are going to get receptions. Waddle, though, he has a chance to make all the plays that Tyreek Hill doesn't. Tyreek Hill can be the deep threat. He can be short, but when he doesn't have Tyreek Hill, Tua's going to find Waddle, and Waddle's a speedster as well, so I think he's going to get a good amount of fantasy points. Darnell Mooney, the Bears' number 1 running wide receiver. Justin Fields has no one else to throw to except Darnell Mooney. You're going to get all the yards, all the receptions, all the touchdowns from Darnell Mooney. Good pick there. Devontae Smith, I had him.
How he fell that hard.
I had him last year in fantasy. In my dynasty, I drafted him in dynasty. I like Devontae Smith a lot because year 2 he's just gonna get even better. In his rookie year, he didn't get as many points as I would have liked from him. So this year, hopefully, he does even better and gets more touchdowns. They do have AJ Brown now. I still like the pick. Devontae Smith's their number 2, so he's gonna get some yards and touchdowns.
Everybody's predicting that Jalen Hurts is a very good fantasy quarterback because he was last year. So, like, if he is, even if A.J. Brown is his number one target, the number two target is going to be a very solid option, too, for Jalen Hurts and fantasy in general.
Yep. And then you went Dameon Pierce, which I really like. If he would have fell to me, I would have taken him there. That's what I was thinking about. Because Dameon Pierce showed out in preseason and now officially is the running back one for the Texans. So you found yourself a starting running back for a team that doesn't have really much going for them. So you're going to get a lot of points with Dameon Pierce. If he continues his preseason amazingness. Brandon Ayuk next. Ooh, okay. I like Ayuk. I think he's a solid receiver. He can get those tough yards. Ayuk is always last year. I took him as well. Ayuk's always a question mark to me because is he gonna be a big fantasy receiver? Is gonna get you all those points, or is he gonna have a few receptions for maybe a decent gain? I don't know. It's always been a question mark to me, but I do like Ayuk a lot as a player. Matthew Stafford, you have to get the Cooper Kupp Matthew Stafford connection. You got your perfect running quarterback there because Cooper Kupp Stafford connection. Yeah, every time Cooper gets touchdown, Stafford's gonna get the points. I mean that's pretty simple, straightforward. I like it. Brian Robinson, running back. Unfortunately, he got shot. Unfortunately.
Yeah, I was going to say, but before he did, he was projected to be the starter for the Washington Commanders. So I grabbed him. Just a little heads up from here on out. I grabbed Brian Robinson. I immediately put him on injured reserve. And then I grabbed Mitchell Trubisky. But then I released Mitchell Trubisky and got Austin Hooper from the Titans.
Okay.
So technically, right here, I would have gotten Austin Hooper.
Gotcha. Who do you release for Austin Hooper?
Mitchell Trubisky, because I freed up a roster spot putting Brian Robinson on injured reserve. So I had a free spot.
Gotcha. Okay. Well, but if when he does get back and returns, he could potentially beat Gibson for the starting role. So you got your running back there. You got 5 running backs. Okay, yeah, you're stacked at running back.
Mm-hmm.
DJ Chark.
I pick another running back later.
Oh, I know. DJ Chark. Okay. Solid. He's gonna. I think he's gonna be 2 or 3. 2. I think he's gonna be 2. If I haven't seen the depth chart yet, so I gotta look at it. But he's gonna be a solid receiver. I think he was a solid receiver in Jacksonville. I think he's gonna get some touchdowns with the Lions too. Haven't seen too much of him in preseason, as far as I know, but he didn't play. I don't think did he play in preseason?
I don't know
because I don't remember seeing him. So yeah, no, I like the pick. I'm excited to see how he does. Tyler Bass, Bills would be scoring points. I like it. I like him mentality. And then my ex-boy Hayden Hurst, starting tight end for the Bengals. So you're gonna get. He replaced Uzomah. It's gonna be hard to replace Uzomah, what he did last year. But if anybody's can do it, it's Hayden Hurst. He's a speedy tight end.
There wasn't many tight ends available, so my tight end room is definitely shaky. Yeah. But the tight end room doesn't always give you a lot of points anyway, which is why I picked up Austin Hooper as well. But I was thinking to myself, Uzomah wasn't even a name until last year.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm hoping Hayden Hurst comes in and commands some targets and is a solid option, because you got to think, every one of their wide receivers needs to have 2 people on them. So the tight end might be open.
Yeah, and Hayden Hurst was kind of a name few years ago just because of Matt Ryan. So yeah, no, I like Hayden Hurst. Hopefully he gets some good yardage and touchdowns. And I do like Austin Hooper too. I mean, 2 of my ex-boys you got. Austin Hooper, he's gonna be number 1 for the Titans as well. So you got 2 number 1 tight ends on a team that loves to do play actions and could easily mean Austin Hooper gets a lot of touchdowns. And then you got Darrell Henderson. And
I think he'll beat out Cam Akers for the starting job.
Yeah,
I honestly do think that.
Yeah, I think Cam Akers and Darrell Henderson, they're gonna kind of more almost split reps. Like I think Cam Akers will get a little more reps starting, but Daryl Henderson could honestly beat him out. That's a battle right there. Yeah, no, you got yourself a
Cam
stacked running back
Akers
room.
last year, he was hurt for a lot of it, and Daryl Henderson was extremely solid. And then when Cam Akers came back, he had a fumbling problem, as we've seen against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers in the playoffs.
Yes, sir.
So I'm hoping he beats out the starting job.
And last but not least, you picked the Philadelphia Eagles defense. Solid defense. Their pass rush is gonna be crazy this year. I think. They still have Fletcher Cox. They had the big boy Jordan Davis. Do they still have Brandon Graham, or am I confusing myself?
I don't remember, but I know they just picked up Gardner too from the Saints.
Yeah, CJ Gardner-Johnson. Their corners are solid. Darius Slay. Yeah, you got a solid defense here. Just gotta hope, like any defense, they get turnovers, and I think they can. They can easily to get turnovers in that defense. So I do really like how you stacked up at running back. That's the only thing I gotta say.
There's a chance I trade some of them. That's why I stacked. I stacked for potential trades in the future.
Yeah. And you got a lot of trade value because all those could potentially be running back ones by the end of the year.
Plus, for the bye weeks, I'll have a lot of options.
Yep. I like your running backs a lot. I'd say I do like your team a lot. I guess the only thing that I could think of is maybe your wide receiver depth or your backup wide receivers, because if who are you thinking about starting like week 1 as your wide receivers?
I'll pull up my list right now.
Waddle, okay, because the only thing I hope Ayuk, Chark, and Devontae Smith play very, very well. But you have Cooper Kupp and Waddle.
I have Cooper Kupp and Darnell Mooney as my starting wide receivers, and I've got Jalen Waddle, Devontae Smith, Brandon Ayuk, DJ Chark on the bench.
Okay. All right, but that's good. You have 2 number 1 wide receivers starting. So.
Yeah, and I have 2 number 1s. Well, technically 2 number 2s with Jalen Waddle and Devontae Smith.
Yeah, I'm gonna give you an A-, but I'll buy a lot. I think your team's very, very good. That's all I have to say. They got running back depth, got receivers. Yeah. All right, elite. Elite. What was your team name? Najee Warrior, right?
Were you Najee Warrior elite? I think he was.
Okay. Let's go. Yep, you were Najee. Yep, Najee Warrior. Okay, cool. All right, Ian. I guess we can go one by one. You can start off with his first pick if you want.
Yeah, so let's see, Najee Warrior. We got Austin Eckler. He's going to be a top running back in fantasy for sure. Solid pick there. No, you can't go wrong with any of the top 4 picks being in the top 5. James Conner, really like James Conner because they lost their slot guy in Christian Kirk. I think James Conner led the league in rushing touchdowns, or he tied with JT, I think. He doesn't get the yardage. He gets the touchdowns. They use him a lot in the red zone. So very solid pick. Josh Allen, quarterback. He's going to score a lot. Very solid pick. Scary Terry, again, very solid number 1 option for Carson Wentz. Carson Wentz has a pretty deep ball. My only concern with Terry is obviously Carson Wentz, the question marks around him. Deontay Johnson, again, top guy. What's his injury, though? I know he got injured, right?
Deontay Johnson. Limited in Steelers practice for week 1.
Oh, he's just limited? Then he's fine.
Yeah.
Okay, so he's practicing. He's just limited. That's fine. Okay.
Yeah, it's a little bit shoulder injury, but it's minor. So
TJ Hawkinson, solid tight end. Not crazy special, but not bad either. He's average. Along with most of the tight ends in the league. I really like Juju. I think he's going to be very solid for Patrick Mahomes. He's obviously wide receiver 1. Buffalo's defense. They were the number 1 scoring defense last year. There's no reason they can't repeat that. Rashad Penny. That's a actually solid running back that late. Because obviously Geno Smith starting at quarterback. They're going to run the ball a lot.
or hopefully they do. Because
Ooh,
I know Pete Carroll. Oh God.
The only issue with D-Hop is he is suspended for the first 6 games. So that's a spot on hold. Wait, is that the one that you weren't able to actually draft because your thing messed up?
If DeAndre Hopkins if he didn't take him, I would have got him. I know he says he would have been on bench for 6 games, and I think he's going to ball out after.
Well, that's why I took Robinson around that pick.
Yeah.
Yeah, I took Robinson actually
the next round, yeah.
Yeah, the next round, because this is a spot to get a good player that, like, let's just say, your dad's thing messed up and auto-drafted a defense. Okay, that makes sense. But I'm okay with risking a roster spot for somebody that you know is going to do good when they come back, which is what I did with Brian Robinson. Jamal Williams, he's a backup, but, I mean, if they use him like a power back, that might be a good option. He's a pound guy. DeAndre Swift is the pass catching guy, so could be a solid pick there. Derek Carr, I'm very high on Derek Carr this year, so very good pickup to back up Josh Allen. Robbie Anderson, that's an interesting one. I think he's going to have a solid year with Baker Mayfield. Jake Elliott, if the Eagles are as good as they're supposed to be, Jake Elliott might be one of the better kickers in the league.
Wait, where do you see Jake Elliott?
Oh, I went under happy endings. My bad. Noah Fant. Or Chris Boswell. My bad.
Chris Boswell.
I skipped one. Chris Boswell. This is the risk for me. He's very solid. But the Steelers' offense has to move down the field, which I think they will. So I'm not judging that too hard. Chris Boswell's a very accurate kicker. He's got a decent leg. Noah Fant, I love that pick too. That late anyway, because I think Drew Lock or Geno Smith is going to throw the ball to the tight end a lot when DK Metcalf and Tyler Lockett's double teamed and he's getting extremely pressured. I think he's going to dump it to Noah Fant.
I really like Noah Fant before he got traded when he was on Denver.
And then McKinnon, I mean, he's a backup, but he's a solid backup. He gets quality reps. All right. What are we grading them?
I don't. The only thing is I don't know how I feel about his bench, about some of the players on his bench. Not all of them, obviously.
Yeah, I like all your starters. I think I'm cool with. Where's your defense? Oh, you didn't draft defense, did you? Oh, wait,
yeah, he went Buffalo. He Buffalo.
So I like your starters. Yeah, Buffalo's a high-scoring defense that can win you games. Boswell, solid kicker. Juju, very solid wide receiver 1. Deontay Johnson, very solid wide receiver 1. Terry McLaurin, very solid wide receiver 1. My issue is your bench at running back. You have a lot of backup running backs as your starter or as your on your bench. That's backups. And then my other slight issue is the wide receivers you have. They're quarterbacks. So, like, I'm cool with Austin Eckler, James Conner, Josh Allen. Those are very solid. Actually, better than solid. Those are very good. Like, those are A+ picks to me. But Terry McLaurin with Carson Wentz, that's a question mark to me. Deontay Johnson and Mitch. I think we're all under agreement that Mitchell Trubisky is going to light it up and at least be solid for the Steelers. But it's still a risk to me. But I think Deontay Johnson's going to get his. You know what I'm saying? He's going to get his. TJ Hawkinson, solid tight end. Juju, very solid wide receiver. I think he's going to be extremely solid. Buffalo defense, highest scoring defense in the league last year. Very good pick. Rashad Penny, if Drew Lock or Geno Smith can't throw the ball, they're going to stack the box, and Rashad Penny's not going to get a lot of running lanes. Oh, you know what? I didn't take that into effect, Elite. Terry has played with subpar quarterback play and been very good, similar to Allen Robinson. So I respect that. That's a very honest. You scouted that.
Yeah, Terry's got a lot of fantasy points. Scary Terry has, regardless the last few years. So,
and you could argue the same with Deontay Johnson.
Yeah, and when D-Hop comes back, he could potentially have Hopkins and McLaurin as his starting wide receivers, and that's going to be a really good starting wide receiver.
That's very good for late season. So if you're pushing for a playoff spot, D-Hop coming back is going to be very solid for you. And with, like I said, Deontay Johnson, I don't think anybody here surprised that Big Ben was not himself the last 2 years. Right? There was no play action. He threw the ball faster than any quarterback in the league. Not a very good O-line. So Mitchell Trubisky's an upgrade from Big Ben the past 2 years, 100%. So Deontay Johnson's a very good pick too. Oh, Curtis Samuel will cut into Terry's production. It depends on. I think Terry McLaurin's going to get hit. I think he's just so fast; he's going to get open all the time. But you're right. Curtis Samuel's going to be a very good option for Carson Wentz too. But I'll also say I'm going to put your position into my grade as well, because number 4 is a kind of hard pick, because you pick 4 and then you don't get another pick for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. You have 17 more picks before you pick again. So I'm going to put that into consideration. For some of these long stretches, the fact that you got James Conner and Austin Eckler is very solid. I'm giving you a B+. The bench, the Rashad Penny's can be solid. I like that you have D-Hop for the future, but that doesn't help you right now. Jamal Williams, a backup running back. I don't know how much if he'll get 500 yards rushing. I mean, what has he got in the past couple of years? Let me look him up before I put my foot in my mouth.
Yeah, I am going to give B+ as well. The only concern is the bench. If you need to start any of those players, like Jerick McKinnon, a backup, who knows how many reps he's gonna take. He could get some quality reps, but I don't know how many reps he will be taking more than a starting running back. Same with Jamal Williams. DeAndre Swift's just gonna be that lead back. Maybe he is in some goal line plays, maybe, but other than that, it's gonna be tough. But he is a strong runner. Let me tell you that. And he's a motivator for the team.
Yeah, so looking at... Damn, I can't see how many games that DeAndre Swift played in. Damn, I'm trying to see how many games DeAndre Swift played in, because this is going to play a little part in... Okay, so DeAndre Swift played in 13 games, which means he was out for 4 weeks.
Okay.
Jamal Williams only had 600 yards rushing. That was his most ever. He only had 3 touchdowns last year, 600 yards, and that was with the starting running back getting hurt for 4 games. So if DeAndre Swift stays healthy the whole season, Jamal Williams might not even break 500 yards. So that's my only concern with him there.
Yeah.
But DeAndre Swift has gotten hurt the past 2 years, so there is a chance. But like I said, I got you at a B plus though.
Yeah, you have solid starting. You have solid players at starting just off the back. So
I think it goes up to an A minus once D Hop gets back.
yeah.
Yeah, that was my case too. Like I said, I didn't pick a tight end until round 15, I think. Oh, sorry, 14. But literally nobody picked a tight end from like round 11 on. So I eventually was like, I got to get a tight end somewhere. So I picked up a tight end. All right, so now it's Antonio's time. Dun, dun, dun.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah, go ahead.
With pick number 1, Justin Jefferson. He is a Vikings fan. So we're going to put that into consideration. At pick number 2, Lamar Jackson. And I'm not going to judge where they took these players either. I'm not doing that. We did that on the draft night. Darren Waller, Hunter Renfrow, Khalil Herbert, Tony Pollard, Adam Thielen, Isaiah Likely, the Miami Dolphins defense, Mr. Evan McPherson himself, damn near Super Bowl MVP, Mike Gesicki, Kevontae Turpin, Big Kirk Cousins on that 1-year, $35 million deal, Romeo Dobbs, LA Rams defense, and Tyler Algier. Tyler Algier, who's going to surprise some people. And the fact that he went damn near last pick of the draft is insane because he was lighting it up in college. He is the running back 2 for the Atlanta Falcons, but that's neither here nor there because Cordell Patterson's listed as number 1, and he don't play running back hardly ever. So really, Tyler Algier is running back 1 for the Atlanta Falcons. All right, so let's dive deep into Antonio's fantasy draft. All right. I was hoping Pratesh would be back by the time I listed all those names. So first things first, Jay Jettis goes in the first round. He's a very solid first round wide receiver. Like I said, I'm not taking into effect where they got him. That's neither here nor there. Lamar Jackson, he's going to be a very solid quarterback, as always. He's going to do damage through the air and on his legs, which really helps his fantasy score. Darren Waller, he's a top 5 tight end. Hunter Renfrow, could argue he's a top 15 wide receiver 100%. Khalil Herbert, this one's a little interesting to me because I think he's running back 2, right? So technically, you have a backup running back there. Tony Pollard. I personally like Tony Pollard over Zeke.
Ooh. Tony Pollard is I love how agile and how fast he is as a running back. I still think Zeke will come back to form a little bit this year. I don't know. Yeah. I like Zeke.
Adam Thielen, he's one of the best wide receiver number 2s in the game.
Thielen.
Isaiah Likely.
Ooh.
I don't love him.
Ooh.
Because he's a backup.
Yeah. Don't know how many reps he's gonna get with Mark Andrews. With Mark Andrews there, I don't know how many reps likely he's gonna get. How many touchdowns or receiving yards he's gonna get.
Well, I'm sure a lot of their sets are actually going to have 2 tight ends because of
because of the play action, run.
Yeah, the play action and the run and stuff. So maybe that's an underrated pick. Maybe that's some scouting that we didn't do that Antonio did. So I'm not going to really talk about him too much because I haven't watched him. Maybe he'll light it up and he'll surprise me.
He did have some nice catches in preseason.
Yeah, Khalil Herbert and David Montgomery. I think it's David Montgomery's spot, but I can definitely understand why you have Khalil Herbert because he's obviously the future. I mean, he's the younger of the two. He's got less injury history. So he might end up surprising us all and becoming the true number one without a contest to it. Miami defense, they're going to be solid. As long as Tua can keep them off the field, they're going to be extremely solid.
You know, Antonio likely did play well in preseason. I'll give you that.
Yeah. Well, like I said, though, the problem's
Mark Andrews. Yeah.
But Evan McPherson, the most accurate kicker we had in postseason last year. Mike Gesicki. He's going to be awesome. He's already got a connection with Tua. I think he's going to be very good. So regardless of the Isaiah Likely pick, Mike Gesicki is going to be a very good starter for you. So he's going to be really good. That's fair, Antonio. That's kind of how I did last year. I picked some of the same. I think I kept saying it. Like my team literally looks like it did last year. Cooper Kupp, Nick Chubb, DeAndre Swift. I had every single one of those guys last year. I had Matthew Stafford last year. I had Tyler Bass last year. I had Darrell Henderson last year. I had a lot of guys that I had last year just because I know how good they are. Like I know what they did last year, and I'm expecting them to do very similar today.
Yeah,
this year.
I had Damien Harris last year. Oh well, this for Dynasty. Damien Harris, Amari Cooper. Yeah, I had them too in fantasy last year, in Dynasty last year. So that's why I redrafted them.
Kevontae Turpin.
That might be a sleeper pick if he
that is a sleeper
is able.
Pick for him. I think he said that when he drafted him.
Yeah.
So I can't judge that one. Kirk Cousins, again, the fact that people hate on Kirk Cousins when he's super accurate with the football, he's not going to lose you points from interceptions. And he's going to throw for 30 touchdowns at least. So he's solid. And then you have the Justin Jefferson, Kirk Cousins stack, which I like. Every time Kirk Cousins throws a touchdown to Justin Jefferson, you're getting double the points. So that's awesome. Romeo Dobbs. I'm not really familiar with him either.
He's a fast receiver. I mean, and then if him and Christian Watson and Alan Lazard are out there, I mean, obviously not because of Sammy Watkins.
Rodgers, that's a very good pick then.
Yeah, Aaron Rodgers could find Romeo Doubs a lot. That's what I'm saying. That's why that's a good pick as well. Romeo Doubs. Any one of those receivers.
Feel like Tua is going to underthrow. He might.
Oh yeah.
I'm not solid. I'm not sold on him yet. I got to watch him a little bit.
Yeah, I'm not sure on Tua either. This is the last year to prove it.
LA Rams defense. They lost Von Miller, but they picked up Bobby Wagner, which I think Bobby Wagner is better than Von Miller right now in their career. I would think they're both older, both out of their prime, but still very good. And I'd rather have a very good middle linebacker than an edge rusher when you have Aaron Donald on the line already. So I think Bobby Wagner helps their team more than what Von Miller was. And then Tyler Algier. I just got done saying, technically on the depth chart, Cordell Patterson is a starting running back. Tyler Algier is the second running back.
He's third.
Cordell Patterson. Who's second?
Damon Williams. Came from the Chiefs last year. I don't know if you saw that game. Remember the guy who caught mossed a corner in the end
I
zone.
remember that. But
Yeah.
Tyler Algier is going to be the second running back.
Oh yeah, I hope he is able to
But
take it.
technically, Cordell Patterson's not a running back. He
Yeah.
is, but he's not. He's
Yeah.
not taking very many snaps out of the backfield on handoffs. He did last year because Mike Davis wasn't doing anything. But Tyler Algier, I think, is going to come through and be the starter there at the running back position.
I
You're going to be
really
able to use
hope
Cordell
so.
Patterson outside and stuff more.
Damon Williams did play very well in preseason though, as well when he got a chance with the first team.
All right, let's judge this. So, I like your wide receivers. Justin Jefferson, Hunter Renfrow is very solid. I like Lamar Jackson. He's going to get you a lot of points because, like I said, rushing yards are worth more than a passing yard. So if Lamar Jackson runs for 50 yards, that's 5 points just on the ground. So, and if he gets a rushing touchdown, it's all the same. So I like Lamar. I like Darren Waller, and Mike Gesicki. Oh, I forgot you have 3 tight ends. Damn, I forgot about Darren Waller. Your tight end room is very solid.
Yeah, I'm surprised he got Gesicki all the way down there, and he picked Likely first.
Yeah, so your tight end room solid. Your wide receiver room solid with Hunter Renfrow, Justin Jefferson. Your kicker solid with Evan McPherson. Your defense solid with the Dolphins. Or the Rams. Sorry, we just did the Dolphins. The Rams. Running back room, to me, is the little bit of concern.
Yeah, I'm concerned a little bit about the running backs too because I like Khalil Herbert, but if Dave Montgomery's gonna have the same year he did last year in fantasy, I mean it's gonna be tough for Khalil Herbert to beat.
I felt this way about I think it was whose team was it that I was talking about? It doesn't have like the big name. And I'm not necessarily looking for a big name, but like out of all your running backs, I just don't see any one of them having a random 30-point production game.
Yeah.
Like when I look at
I think
everybody's teams, so like Derrick Henry, 100% could have a 30-point game. Jonathan Taylor could have a 30-point game. Austin Eckler could have a 30-point game. Leonard Fournette could have a 30-point game. I had him last year. He had a 45-point game last year. Najee Harris could get you a 30-point game. And this is just me going off like each team's running back list. Nick Chubb could give you a 30-point game. Christian McCaffrey is the risky one, but he could give you a 30-point game. Icelandic actually doesn't have a guy that would really give you that kind of production either. Because they took Jamar Chase and then Travis Kelce, so then Saquon. That's a risky one, though. So you have Falcons fan, Dalvin Cook. Obviously, we all know he can give you a 30-point game. He scored like 5 or 6 touchdowns in a game before.
And Zeke can, yeah. Also
Alvin
Zeke can.
Kamara went, and Joe Mixon went to the other guy, which Joe Mixon can give you a 30-point game too. So that's my only concern with your running back room. I think you have a bunch of solid ones. I just don't think you have one guy that will like carry a team. And I think that's very important in fantasy, is to have somebody at each position that can carry you. And that's my only concern. But what you like at running back, you have at wide receiver. Because Justin Jefferson, Hunter Renfrow, Adam Thielen, we all know those guys are going to eat.
You do have a lot of sleeper picks at bench though. So if one of your sleepers turn out, then I think you're gonna be chilling wide receiver wise. Some of your wide receiver picks.
Again, like you said, running backs did go very early, which is how it normally goes. But I'm also you got the second pick, right? And then you didn't pick again for forever. The first couple picks in the draft are so tough. I think the second and third pick are the 2 worst spots to pick in fantasy. At least the first round pick. I mean, if you have the first pick, you do go a long time without a pick, but you at least get back-to-back picks eventually.
Yeah, you just wait 2 picks. Yeah.
But the second and third round, like you get your pick, you wait a long time, you get a pick, and then you have 4 spots to go when you're the third pick, because you get your pick, and then you go to the second pick, first pick, second pick, third pick. So like that's a very rough spot. That's why I like 7, because you pretty much you go 7 or 8 times, you don't get a pick, then you get a pick, then you get 7 or 8 times, and you get a pick. It's kind of the same around that middle mark.
Yeah.
So with that being said, what do you give him?
I give him a B, or C plus B range.
I'll say B, because like I said, he's got dominant wide receivers, he's got a dominant quarterback, he's got a dominant tight end, and he's got a dominant kicker.
And that quarterback could get you a lot of rushing yards too.
Yeah, that's why I like Lamar. I think he took him a little early, but I also know he might have been on the board at the 3rd round pick, but like who was he getting instead?
Yeah.
You might have got Keenan Allen or Kyle Pitts, but you got Darren Waller. So, I mean, really Lamar's not a bad choice there, because you wouldn't have been able to get a quarterback for a while after that. Josh Allen had already gone by the time your next pick came up. Patrick Mahomes already went before your next pick came up.
Yeah, and people might have started taking quarterbacks if that was the case.
So, yeah, I'll give a B.
Okay.
Solid B.
Yes, sir.
Actually, looking at this, who do you think has the best team?
Ooh.
I'll tell you,
That's
just off a quick glance.
a happy endings does have like I was looking at first aid
That's
picks.
Eddie's.
Oh yeah, he got a Jonathan Taylor, Aaron Jones, 2 running back starters, Mike Evans, George Kittle, Sutton, Burrow, Monra, Kareem Hunt, another start running back. Oh my god.
Well, my problem with Kareem Hunt, he might not play.
Yeah. Oh, but if he gets traded, he's gonna.
Yeah, if he gets
it depends
traded,
where he gets traded to.
We'll look at his team too.
Yeah.
But as of right now, I think Eddie has the best team. I'm a little biased to mine because I don't think I have any like flaws other than maybe tight end, but
I'm biased as mine as well. I just don't like I just would like another running back.
my team, like I look at it and I would be scared to play it because Cooper Kupp, Nick Chubb, DeAndre Swift, J.K. Dobbins, and then the bench, Darnell Mooney, Devontae Smith, like those are guys that can produce. I'm going to play with my lineups every week. So, like, I might not start Jalen Waddle one week, but I might start him the next week if they play the Lions or the Bears or something. Let's see. What's your dad's team name?
It's Freak. It's the last person
Freak?
over there. Yeah.
Second to last?
Yeah.
Oh, Stephon Diggs. Alvin Kamara. My only concern with Alvin Kamara, he could possibly get suspended.
Yeah. He hasn't yet, so.
I don't think he will, but he could possibly get suspended. Josh Jacobs, my concern with him is I'm not sure he'll be the starter for long because Zamir White is going to take that job.
Hopefully.
But Patrick Freiermuth, man, he's going to be a beast. Stephon Diggs is a beast. Patrick Mahomes, beast. Aaron Rodgers as his backup, beast.
Clyde's there too. Decent.
Oh, Turpin, yeah, you're right. I forgot about him. He is going to be really good. I don't know. They like to wait on stuff like that, Tim. I don't know why.
He did pick. Elite's dad picked Jarvis, and I was saying in preseason that him and Jameis already have a really good connection. When he was playing, when they were playing together.
Devontae Parker, he's going to be number 1 in Patriots. Well, the Packers defense isn't the worst defense he could have got because I think the Packers defense is going to be solid this year.
Yeah, I think it's still going to be good, even though they lost the Darius.
The way I do defense, I constantly change my defense out. I never have the same defense because even if, let's just say, like I have Philadelphia's defense, I'm not playing the Philadelphia defense when they play the Dallas Cowboys or when they play the Chiefs or the Rams. Like, I'm not playing their defense against good teams or the Bills. Like, I'd rather play someone like, let's say the Commanders play the Bears. I might pick up the Commanders defense against the Bears. Stuff like that. Like, I change it out all the time. You need Kamara to play?
I'm pretty sure he's gonna play. Yeah, it is no sign right now, but if they do, it might be after a week or two. So.
But like I said, I'm biased to my team because I think my team has no flaws. You could maybe say my team has flaws at tight end, but the tight end position hardly ever gets you points anyway, unless you're Travis Kelce, Darren Waller, George Kittle, Kyle Pitts, Mark Andrews. Like, if you don't have the top 5 tight ends, you're getting 5 to 6 points regardless of who your tight end is.
Yeah, it's the NFL. He's not gonna get suspended much, anyways. They don't care. I don't care at all. NFL.
Oh, CBS Sports. I just looked it up. Alvin Kamara is expected to face at least a 6-game suspension stemming from his alleged involvement in a Las Vegas fight back in February. But the Star Saints running back may not serve that suspension until 2023.
Damn. Tim said any sleeper backs.
I would say, let's see. It depends on who's like in your league. I'll tell you what, Tim. Are you in our Discord? If you're in our Discord, we have a football discussion group. Post your take a screenshot of the running back free agents, and I can actually we'll look at it and tell you who we think is going to be like really good. Because if it's like most leagues, if you have 10 people in your league, I mean, the top 2, everybody's taken 2 running backs at least, so that's 20 of the starters gone. So I could tell you to take Dameon Pierce. He's the Texans starting running back. He's going to be a huge sleeper this year. He's probably the biggest sleeper out of everybody on this list. But he might be taken. Somebody might have watched. He was killing it in preseason. I like Khalil Herbert too, and I hope he does good because we have autos of him.
Yeah. And
we at least have numbered cards of him.
Yeah. Oh, you don't got Discord? No worries, Tim.
Dang.
If you can maybe if you just name some running backs that aren't for agency right now, like the tops or whatever is on there.
Yeah, 12-team league. Most of them are probably taken, but Dameon Pierce.
I don't know if Raheem Mostert's going to be there. Maybe
Raheem Mostert could be. Darrell Henderson. He's the backup for the Rams. I think he's going to become running back 1 very soon.
Kenneth Walker the third, if he's there, maybe.
Rashad Penny, Kenneth Walker. Yeah, them two. Tyler Algier is probably going to win the starting job. Mostert, yeah, I think he'll be solid. He's got the injury history, and they do have a stacked running back room, but he's fast. I think they're going to want to use his speed.
Yeah, he's the fastest running back in the league. So if he can play a season without getting injured, like, I mean, I think he's gonna be very, very good. I was looking at Julio's team. He in the 12th round he drafted Nyheim Hines. And Jonathan Taylor is there, but he might get a lot of the receiving yards, and receiving touchdowns as a back if he's going out in the back.
Mike Davis. Where's Mike Davis?
Oh, Penny and Walker. Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's his bench, and then his starters are CMC Kamara.
Oh, okay.
That's a solid running back room, to be honest.
I like your bench that you have Penny and Walker because here one of them could. Penny's gonna start first,
Yeah,
but
I would. What I would do if I was you, I would watch closely the Seattle Seahawks for the first 2 weeks, and whoever doesn't get the most reps, I would try to bait them in a trade. Just say, "Hey, man, Kenneth Walker's a starter, man. Trade me, Kyle Pitts."
yeah, you see that touchdown he got? He's gonna get plenty more.
We got 2 more days, man.
I know. I'm so excited. We hope you guys are. We hope you guys are ready for football. I know you guys are. Thursday, we're gonna be going live way earlier. Probably gonna be some of our new time-ish on Thursdays. Don't know a set time yet, but we'll let you know. But we will go live before the game to get you all that good action on Thursday night. We are gonna go over our week 1 predictions, who win, who won't. So make sure you guys are here on Thursday. We'll be going over every single week 1 game, a little bit, as much as we can. And we'll be going over the Bills-Rams games that day. So this is where everything is going to get a lot more heavier, in-depth NFL. Yeah, so we hope you guys are excited. This is our first NFL season as a podcast, as PI Podcast. So it's going to be fun. We have a lot of ideas.
Mm-hmm.
Anything you'd like to add, Ian?
No, actually, I'm all
Out?
set.
All right, yeah, for sure, Antonio. Appreciate you. Yeah, we'll be going live a little earlier earlier, but we'll be going live before the game, at least a few hours before the game, and we'll take you right up to near kickoff. So yeah.
Yeah. So keep those noties on.
Yes, sir. Make sure you have that bell clicked right now. If you don't, Ian's gonna cry. But yeah, thank you guys for watching. We hope you guys enjoyed some fancy football talk, a little bit of talk about week 1, just a little bit. You'll have more on that on Thursday and Sunday. But yeah, appreciate you guys for always coming by. Appreciated Tim. Thank you, Antonio, Elite, Tim, Victor, Nick. Appreciate all of you guys for coming by. Uno.
Tim?
Yeah, Tim. Yeah, I said Tim. But yeah, appreciate all of you guys for coming by. We'll be back Thursday. You guys do not want to miss it. Football is back on Thursday. All right, we'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.
Thank you for watching the PI Podcast. Make sure you subscribe and tune in next time so you don't miss the latest news in the NFL world. You can also follow us on TikTok at PI Podcast and on Twitter at PIPodcasters. Until next time.